Hello? This thing on? What's up, everyone? How's everyone doing tonight? Bob already out here trolling. Starfield got canceled. Bob, come on, man. Come on. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome back. Welcome back to another live stream, another Plumecast. 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row. I'm very happy to be able to go live again. It's been I would say the last couple of weeks have been pretty wild. But this week we got Jimbo, PlayStation, out here crying some more about the Activision Blizzard deal. So we'll talk about that a bit more. We'll go over the stuff he said and what my thoughts are on that. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on that. I feel like I have a good feeling as to what you guys think about it, but I definitely want to see what you guys say about that as well. The best part about these Plumecasts, sorry, I just got to fix this. Best part about these Plumecasts is I get to see what you guys think about this stuff live and then just have a discussion with you. But yeah, we've had a couple showcases in the last 2 days, so we'll go over the stuff they showed off there. One I thought was better than the other, but both were, I would say, like decent. Or actually, that's a lie. One I thought was really bad. The other one I thought was okay. Still could have been better. But there's interesting things that came out of the Ubisoft Forward that I really want to go over, not only in the games that they showed off, but also kind of really showing where this industry is focusing on and where it's going. But how's everyone doing today? How's everyone Saturday night or daytime or wherever you are? How's it going? We got 30 people in here. That's awesome. That's awesome. Welcome, John. Welcome, Rachie. Welcome, Bob. I already said hi to you with the trolls. Welcome, Josh. Hope everyone is having a good night. And yes, Plume is back. Plume is back. Plume is going to try to be back with live streams on a more consistent basis. My schedule is finally getting a little bit better, a little bit more routine like, where I should be able to make these Saturday nights happen. But as we know on the Plumecast, every episode I drink a beer. I'm drinking one of my favorites this Saturday. Almost forgot the day of the week, even though I just said it. Innocent Gun Original, great beer. If you haven't tried it, it's an awesome tasting, delicious beer. You're a Habs fan. I am a Habs fan. And thanks for enjoying the content, George. Appreciate that. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for stopping in. As the Habs, yeah, this year is going to be an interesting year. They have a good young squad. I don't know how good they're going to do. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, but you never know. You never know. The NHL is such a crapshoot every year. Always a lot of surprises. But what do I play? What have I been playing? I've been really playing Saints Row again, like all week. Essentially, I think I'm about 50 or so hours, or like 48 or so hours into Saints Row, being in the main story. I would say that by the time I got to the end of the game, the characters got a little bit better, but I still am not a huge fan of the writing and the characters in Saints Row. That's the biggest downfall for me in it. Not too many bugs I'm experiencing. I know a lot of people had tons of bugs, but I haven't experienced too many bugs. But the gameplay is it's fun. It's a ton of fun. And the more you play, the more things you unlock, the more wild stuff you can do, the more explosions, the easier it is to get across the entire map with flying. You get like a hoverboard. You get some tech, I don't know what to call it, but like to help you like shoot through walls and stuff. There's just a bunch of cool stuff that you can unlock the more that you play, and it just makes you want to keep going through and finishing stuff off. The game got very bad reviews across the board pretty much. I think there was a couple of like 8s or so, but I don't think the game is nearly as bad as some people are making it out to be. If these reviewers experience like just a shit ton of bugs while they're playing it, it makes sense. But myself, like I said, I haven't experienced any crazy bugs at all with Saints Row. Just there are bugs for sure. It's not perfect whatsoever. There's pop-in, there's like flashing sometimes, but nothing that's like made me want to turn off the game and stop playing. So yeah, Saints Row. I can't believe I've put 48 or 49 hours into it so far, but I have, and I'm going to continue to play. I'm probably going to try to get as close as I can to just 100%ing the map. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been spending a lot of time in. So let's see here. See what we got here. Hopefully they found the developer of Killer Instinct. That would be cool. I'd love to see that game come back. I restarted Game Pass for the Ubisoft Greek game. I don't remember the name. I will start tonight. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And it's one of the better Assassin's Creeds. I would say that I liked the combat style in Assassin's Creed Odyssey much more than Valhalla. I absolutely love Valhalla though. But yeah, Assassin's Creed Odyssey is a beautiful game. The story is decent. The combat is a lot of fun. And the characters are pretty cool overall. Hey Josh, yeah, I did see it. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's been a sleepless month or so. But yeah, that's why getting my schedule for live streaming on Saturday, it's been a little bit off, but I'm starting to get back a little bit back to normal. But yeah, I appreciate that, Josh. Thank you. In 6 years, Xbox will reclaim the name Shooter Box. I mean, I think they still right now are. I would say. I mean, when they're gonna get Call of Duty, you can't really beat that in terms of having like the top premier most players in a game playing a first-person shooter. Oh, Phoenix Rising. For some reason, I thought you said. For some reason, I thought you meant Assassin's Creed game. Yeah, Phoenix Rising, Immortals Phoenix Rising is excellent game. One of the most underrated Ubisoft games. I don't think it did very well, so I'd be surprised if they made another one, but I really hope they do. It's a great game. Lots of fun. And yeah, it's on Game Pass. I played it right when it came out. Absolutely loved it. Go Habs, go. Let's go. Season's starting soon. About a month from now. All right, let's jump right in here to the first topic. Josh, what am I drinking tonight? I am drinking Innis and Gunn. It's a Scottish beer. It's absolutely delicious. It's matured for smoothness in single malt whiskey casks. Delicious beer. Okay, let's jump over here. Let's get into... Let's get into here. Xbox. I mean, essentially, you know, I troll on like console wars and stuff, and like, you know, like just who cares and all that type of stuff about console wars. Like just play, like I play on everything, so I don't really care, but like you would see like people always going back and forth on console wars, but we are in the real life console wars right now with what is going on with Xbox and PlayStation and Jim Ryan and everything that's come out so far, with them going back and forth publicly about the Xbox Activision Blizzard deal. And one company in PlayStation wants to do everything in their power to block it, and then obviously Xbox wants to make sure that it goes through. But we know what's going on here. Right now, you have the CMA looking for more information. You have these competitive authorities looking to make sure that this deal doesn't affect the market in a way that's going to hurt it and make it anti-competitive. And it's the onus is on Microsoft and Activision Blizzard to be able to prove that that is going to be the case once this goes through. So they go out and they ask third parties what they think. And Sony, obviously being Sony, wants to do everything in their power to block this deal. And the main reason they want to do everything in their power is because they are terrified of the amount of revenue they are going to be losing once this deal goes through. So this is just an article that was published May 7th, 2022, obviously got updated. But Microsoft, they're saying Microsoft may lose $1 billion a year making Call of Duty exclusive. We know they aren't making it exclusive, at least for the next 3 or 4 years. And if they are going to eventually make Call of Duty exclusive, obviously in these next 3 to 4 years, they're going to do everything in their power to get as many people away from PlayStation into the Xbox ecosystem to play the game, and playing through Game Pass, or just, you know, making a Xbox account, buying the game through it, and just making purchases through the store. But PlayStation has a lot more to lose here. You go down here, They were talking about the fiscal year 2021 revenues, and you can see right just from these numbers, the revenues from customers that Activision Blizzard makes in a single year, in a single fiscal year. You have Sony here being the third after Apple and Google at $1.32 billion, which is just insane when you have Microsoft down there at $880 million, which is far less. And that's going to completely, so you're going to have Sony, once this deal goes through, essentially. See, this is the thing. This is the kicker for this entire deal with Xbox and with Sony. Sony's probably afraid that they are going to lose customers. Sure, that's probably one of their biggest fears, that they're going to lose customers over to Xbox. But the second thing, when you look at these numbers and how much money that Activision Blizzard was making off of Sony, now what they're going to do, what's going to happen is that all Sony is going to be doing, even when keeping Call of Duty on PlayStation, is they're going to be paying Xbox and they're going to be paying Microsoft all of this money, which will help them bolster Xbox Game Pass and help them bolster their ecosystem. So Sony's screwed at the end of the day when it comes to this deal going through. So they want this to be stopped in any way, shape, or form. So I wouldn't be surprised if some more stuff comes out and they continue to try to stop this deal, because I didn't think about that angle from it, but they're just going to be, if they want, sure, keep Call of Duty on PlayStation, no problem. Phil Spencer's probably hoping they want to keep it on PlayStation, because at the end of the day, they're going to be making tons of revenue off of Sony themselves that they can take and just throw right back into the Xbox ecosystem. So essentially, Sony's going to be paying Xbox, Microsoft to help them grow their own ecosystem, which will eventually take more players away from other places like PlayStation and like Sony. And that side of it is probably another reason why Sony really, really wants this deal to not go through. And we know what Jim Ryan said with everything, with his statements about it being an inadequate deal, and that basically they've only promised the next 3 to 4 years on PlayStation for Call of Duty, or the next 3 years, whatever it was, which is something that isn't surprising. This is probably brings them to the end. Xbox offers, okay, it's even better than that. Sony's Jim Ryan argues that Xbox offers to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation for at least 6 years. For some reason, I was thinking 3 to 4, but 6 years, that being inadequate. Which, at the end of the day, they don't even have to keep it on there at all, but they are, because they know how much money it's going to make them. And Jim Ryan is saying the deal is inadequate and that he only went public because Phil Spencer went public. Well, Phil Spencer had to kind of go public with this because the CMA was asking for more information. So he put out this blog post to get people understanding what they were trying to do with the entire thing. And he emphasized in that blog post that they are keeping Call of Duty on PlayStation. Like, that was one of the biggest things, that they are going to be putting Call of Duty and these Activision Blizzard games on as many platforms as possible, and how the cloud and mobile and all that type of stuff is going to open up these games to more and more people. But to Jim Ryan, that's inadequate. And the only reason it is inadequate is because he wants the deal to be stopped. He knows how much money he's going to lose. And like I just said, with this stuff here, where is it? With this stuff here, he knows how much money he's going to have to be paying over to Xbox and Microsoft in order to keep these games on the platform. So he's scared. He is extremely scared. And it's really, really absurd when you think about some of the stuff that PlayStation has been doing over the years to even for a second think that they are a victim in this whatsoever. Because obviously they aren't a victim with all of the exclusivity deals that they've been doing. I think back to Final Fantasy all the time. I know there's way more things about that PlayStation's done with exclusive stuff, keeping games off of Xbox, just with the entire marketing deal with Call of Duty. You think about Call of Duty specifically, one of their major things was they got that marketing deal. PlayStation became the home of Call of Duty. They had betas early. They had content early. They split up the community when maps got released, when content got released. And then they also tried to stop crossplay out of all of these things, which is a huge feature right now within Call of Duty. So for them to sit back and say that what Microsoft and Xbox is doing is going to hurt them, it's inadequate, all that type of stuff, it's crazy. And maybe Jim Ryan walked into the boardroom on Monday and they told him, Jimmy, you stop this deal or we stop your paycheck. You don't have a job anymore here. And maybe that's what's going on. You never know. You never know. They're cutthroat in these big businesses, and so who knows? But at the end of the day, this deal I still think is definitely going to go through, and I think that keeping Call of Duty on the platform for even another year is more than adequate for Xbox to do that. But they're going to keep it on for much longer than that for these marketing rights. And you know what? Here's the thing too. It's like the marketing right now for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is still on PlayStation. They're still getting the open beta first, or the closed beta, whatever you want to call it. They're still getting the beta first, and they're still going to have all the marketing rights for it for, I would say, the biggest Call of Duty in a very, very long time. It's all going to be marketed towards PlayStation, and there's still going to be a lot of people out there that play this game on PlayStation this year. They're not even going to care or think about Xbox or Modern Warfare 2. They're not going to make that switch now because the deal hasn't gone through. Obviously, it's not on Game Pass yet, and a lot of people may not know. There's a lot of people out there that probably don't even know that Xbox has acquired or is in the process of acquiring Activision Blizzard. So they're still going to get all of this revenue from Modern Warfare 2, one of the biggest Call of Duty releases ever. Just because it's a remake of one of the biggest culture-changing, like influencing video games of all time. If you played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 back when it came out on the 360 and the PS3, it was insane. It was like the only game people were talking about, and it created an entire culture. So now they're remaking it, and that's gonna be huge. Like, you're gonna have new players jumping in, you're gonna have all the people with the nostalgia jumping in, and then you're gonna have the people who've been playing Call of Duty since then still playing it. A lot of them won't even know, because if it's the only game that they play, they probably don't follow the industry as closely as people who play a bunch of different stuff and are always on, like, you know, gaming Twitter, all that type of stuff, are always looking to see what's going on within the industry. So that was the biggest thing this week. That was the biggest news when it came to this deal. I feel like there's going to be more news as we go throughout the weeks, between now and then the time eventually when this deal does go through. But yeah, what do you guys think about this? I'm sure you guys have similar thoughts. I'm sure you guys think that Jermaine's just an absolute idiot when it comes to this stuff. He's been pretty bad, I would say, this generation with everything that he's done. The way he's handled a lot of stuff, the way that his messaging has gone for the PS5, and just like everything with this console, everything with it, they believed in generations and then didn't. The backwards compatibility, the pricing going up. And I mean, when you think about it, here, let's just swap back to here. When you think about PlayStation, I made a video talking about this as well. This video here, so the new PS5 is, he got his hands on it. He did. Austin Evans is, when he made this video the first time, and the title was "The New PS5 is Worse," and the amount of backlash he got for that, basically saying that it runs hotter because they cut the heat sink, that he was worried that potentially it could hurt the lifespan of the PlayStation 5, which, I mean, it's a pretty logical conclusion to come to, that if a computer of any sort runs hotter for a longer period of time, the lifespan is going to be reduced. It is going to be affected. So that's what he was saying. Got tons of backlash on that. And he did another test on the heating here of this PS5, the newest, the last PS5, and then the first PS5. And it seems like the middle PS5 is probably the worst of them all. One you don't want to get. I wonder if they're going to be releasing a new one every single year. But yeah, he did this unboxing. He tore apart the new PS5. It is lighter. It's, I mean, essentially the same sound, same noise. I mean, the PS5 itself isn't loud, but the disc drive, when you put a disc in that thing, is the most horrendous sound of, like, it's so bad. It is really, really bad. That's the only thing. But the disc goes in, it loads for like a couple seconds. It's super loud, and then it's a quiet console. But yeah, the biggest change here, some changes on the plastic, slight changes on the heatsink, and the wattage for some reason was a lot less when he did his comparison of the wattage between all three of the consoles. So there is definitely some small improvements here with this new PS5. But I mean, it's a console that they've raised the prices on multiple different regions, and people are still buying. People are going to keep buying this console, which is why they raise the prices. They know that the demand is so high that it doesn't matter. They can raise it by another $10, $20. People will probably right now go out and still buy it, which is just crazy to me. It's actually crazy. The brand and consumer loyalty that PlayStation has built up, even with a generation right now where objectively the PS5 is the worst console. It just is. Everything about it is worse. The power, the build, the size, honestly, even the content, because Game Pass is so good. And 2022 was a down year, but Game Pass is still so good. I'm always playing stuff. So right now, it's just like overall, you have more stuff to do on Xbox. And most people play third-party games. So with Game Pass, that's where you'd want to be for most gamers. But a lot of them probably don't even realize that stuff. But they cut the resources, or they cut it down. It's probably going to be cheaper to make, but they've raised the prices to really increase that profit margin on these consoles. And all of this is to kind of compensate right now for a lot of the stuff going on within the industry. They're going to be paying money to Xbox for Activision Blizzard games. They are far behind when it comes to subscription and ecosystem and all that type of stuff. And they know moving forward, console exclusivity isn't going to be the way to succeed. Therefore, they have to catch up. And one way to catch up, or to reduce the hurt, I guess, is to do things like this. Make sure you're always increasing that profit margin, because their investors want to see that continuously increase. And we're seeing this. But at least this time, so far from what we can understand, the new PS5 is better. All right, let's get back here to some comments. I'm going to read some comments here. I've been rambling on here for a while. Let's see what you guys have to say. We got, what, 61 or 70, 73 in here. Wow. That's great. My things went 61 and then jumped up to 73. That's awesome. Welcome everybody to Plumecast. Okay, all right. Let's see. I really don't see how Xbox will lose billions on Call of Duty. It is a popular game, so I don't see Xbox losing that much. No, they're not going to lose anything on Call of Duty. They're going to make a lot of money on Call of Duty. What they're saying is they could lose billions if they took it off of PlayStation, which obviously they aren't going to do. I mean, they're going to assess everything from the market and from their financials before they make any moves. And what I think is going to happen is they are going to leave it on PlayStation, and they're going to keep assessing that. And why not? Because again, you're making money off PlayStation, but you're just going to be so incentivized to play games on Game Pass that there's going to be tons of people transferring over to Xbox. Not even if the game's on PlayStation. Why would you go and play it on PlayStation, pay full price for the game, when you can literally go sign up to Game Pass, play the game, a yearly release game, literally a game that you play? You would have to pay the entire. Wait, how much is Game Pass a year? Like $60? No, I guess just for console. I guess it should be. Yeah, it's way more than that. But how much is Game Pass an entire year? Depends, I guess. It depends, I guess, where you are in the world. But for Game Pass Ultimate, it's like 100 and let's go $200. Let's go $200 in Canada. That's Canadian, so it's cheaper in the United States. Let's just say round it up with tax and everything to about $200 for a year for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which in my opinion, $200 a year for the amount of content you get, very worth it. But like Call of Duty every single year in Canada is $90 before taxes, so it's what, 100 and like, depending on where you live in Canada, like $110. That's half the price of Game Pass Ultimate just to pick up that game every single year, when you can literally just sign up for an Xbox Game Pass. And people spend way more than $200 a year on video games generally. So yeah, people are going to be coming over just for that. And they're going to be so incentivized with perks and all that type of stuff. So like content, or I don't even know if they may not even have to do content, but if they just offer like exclusive skins, exclusive cosmetics, that will be enough to incentivize a lot of people to come over to the service. Sony knows it makes sense to keep Call of Duty on their system, but they just don't want this game to go on Game Pass and lose their players. Yeah. I mean, Sony's in a lose-lose at the end of the day with Call of Duty. They're in a lose-lose. That's the bigger thing, I think. They can't win once this still goes through. They've lost when it comes to Call of Duty. I mean, I already mentioned it with like they're paying money to Xbox for the game, royalties, all that type of stuff, where Xbox gets to take that money and invest it back into their ecosystem, expand their ecosystem, and just grow and get more players into Xbox Game Pass and just into their ecosystem. So they're in a lose-lose. I mean, they're keeping Warzone on Sony, which makes them billions. They're releasing Warzone for mobile as well, and supposedly waiting on it for the Switch. They don't take into account people leaving PlayStation for Xbox. Yeah, I mean, Warzone 2, that's massive, and they're just expanding it out to everywhere. I mean, why not? It's a free-to-play game. All right. The big boys are the ones playing in the console war playground. They are. This is like, yeah, this is super interesting what's going on right now. Like, I can't remember. They've always been competitive, but what we're living through right now between Xbox and PlayStation is something we've never really seen before. They're public about it right now. They've always been so like cordial with each other. Now, yeah, Jim Ryan literally saying, "I'm only saying this because Phil Spencer came out publicly. I thought this was supposed to be behind closed doors." When he put out, he's right. He did come out and put out that public blog post. He's not lying. That's true. But he didn't he just pretty much said games are going to stay on PlayStation. He didn't call it PlayStation whatsoever. Other than that, Jim said 3 years. Okay, so then is that article wrong? I don't know. Maybe that article is wrong. At least 6 years. Who knows? You can't trust some of these sites sometimes with the stuff that they put out. So that could definitely be wrong. But yeah, 3 years, even 3 years, pretty adequate. It'll be on longer though, I think. All right. $108 a year in the US, which is $15 a month for all. But yeah, so it's about $200 in Canada. That makes sense. It's £10.99 a month in the UK, less than Starbucks a week. Very true. Starbucks is absurd. Like sometimes their drinks are like $7, which is just like, oh my god, $7 for some like fancy coffee. For me, Ultimate is free with Xbox Rewards. I mean, that's another huge thing that people don't talk about enough, but also that PlayStation is straight up just copying. It's just the reward system. The reward system is amazing. It actually is amazing. The amount of stuff that you get for free just by literally playing games on Game Pass. It's every single time you log in. It's like weekly challenge, daily challenge, monthly challenge, whatever. And then just by filling out like, I think there's like some like surveys and stuff or feedback you can get stuff, but like it's actually so good. I have so many points banked right now. I have to use them. I don't know why I haven't looked into it, but I just keep banking them. I like seeing the number get higher and higher. But we are 91 viewers in here. This is awesome. Welcome, guys. Welcome to Plumecast, my weekly gaming news podcast. If you haven't checked out my channel, you're new here, go check it out. I do daily videos and I do this stream on Saturday. Well, I should say daily minus Sunday, but Sunday I do still put out some stuff actually if I stream. So pretty much, yeah, essentially daily videos. I put out a lot of content. If you guys like hearing, keeping update on the news, Xbox, PlayStation, whatever, definitely gonna talk about some Nintendo Switch stuff here today because we got some rumors about Nintendo Switch 2. Make sure to go subscribe and welcome to the channel. All right. So just listen to this like background music. Thank you, Nacho, man. Appreciate that. I see you in the comments. Appreciate all you watching all the videos. Awesome. Appreciate it. 25K per month reward points. Nice. Use my rewards to donate to charity. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. What is the background music? Just like royalty free Spotify playlist so the video doesn't get destroyed by YouTube. All right, so what's the next thing we want to go over here? So I don't know if you guys watched it, but there were two showcases. The last 2 days. There was the Disney and Marvel showcase. Then there was Ubisoft Forward. So let's take a look at some of the stuff that they showed off in there. Just gotta pull it up here. All right, so first of all, let's look at Disney. Let's look at Disney. So Disney had their showcase yesterday. My initial opinions on this showcase is that I honestly thought it was terrible. Like one of the worst showcases I've ever I don't know, maybe I'm being hyperbolic there, but it was really, really bad. And not because like I'm not interested in what some of these games are, is that I found like it was just such a waste of time for a showcase. They literally showed off like very small CGI trailers that didn't show the game whatsoever. You don't even know what type of game half of these are going to be. It was just boring. It was just a bad showcase in my opinion. I did not like this showcase at all. But here's what they did show. Well, the first game that I'm actually interested in seeing more about, but like the trailer didn't get me hyped up. I mean, yeah, I'm Captain America and Black Panther, very cool to see in a video game, but like the trailer just showed nothing. Yeah, is it even like what type of game is it? This teaser trailer was light on details, but according to the Marvel blog post, the game will star Steve Rogers, Captain America, Azuri, and the World War II era Black Panther. Gabriel Jones, a U.S. soldier who's also part of the Howling Commandos. Okay, and Denali, a member of the Wakandan Spy Network. Okay, that's cool. These are all cool characters. Sure, the currently unnamed game, it's unnamed first of all, will be headed by Amy Hennig, a former creative director of the Uncharted series who joined Skydance in October. Okay, so you can assume it's going to be some sort of third-person cinematic style of game coming from her, creative director of Uncharted. But it's unnamed. Like, this is the one thing that this industry keeps doing, and I'm not sure why they keep doing it. Well, they're doing it because they want to just create hype. You throw Marvel, you throw Captain America, you throw Black Panther on anything, you're going to have people just excited and hyped up about it. But they're announcing a game that doesn't even have a title, meaning that this game isn't coming out for like who knows, right? Who knows? Currently unnamed game. They keep showing these games so early to get the hype early. The hype train dies off and then they show the game again to get the hype's there when they show it again, but then they delay the game. The game comes out. It's not as good. And I feel like announcing games so early in their development cycle to get people just hyped up for the sake of hype backfires a ton. And people keep making these same mistakes. These developers and these publishers keep making these same mistakes. I'm guessing that it's probably Disney going to them and saying, we're showing your game and that's that. I would be surprised if like Amy Hennig and her studio wanted to just show it off and announce it right away. Because first of all, it got leaked early. People knew this is what they were going to show. But like I went into this after seeing that leak or hearing about it. I was like, oh man, I can't wait to see gameplay. And I can't wait to play this game in like a year from now. We're not going to get this game probably for like 5 years. Maybe that's a bit exaggerating, but like, I just don't know why they do this. It pisses me off a lot these days when they show games so early because it's backfired so many times. They showed off a bunch of other stuff. World of Heroes. Marvel's Midnight Suns gets a new release date because it was delayed. This is a game that, I mean, this is a cool game. I'm excited for this one. This is one of the games that, yeah, I'm excited for Marvel's Midnight Suns, but we've already seen it a bunch of times. We already knew what it was all about. They gave that release date of December 2nd, so it's a big December game. I think December was pretty dry up to now, but this is going to be one that a lot of people are going to jump into. They showed a card battler Marvel Snap. Don't really care. Return to Mikey Island. We'll have an in-game scrapbook to catch you up on other games. I mean, that they have a pretty good fan base for that. And like, Oh, and they also showed off Tron, which is a new visual novel from the maker of Thomas Was Alone. I mean, cool. I'm not that interested in that, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that are, and that's awesome. And it's going to be released in 2023. So those were the biggest announcements at this show. I found the show boring. I found that all the trailers were essentially just these small CGI trailers. Actually, this is just the biggest announcements. There was one game I want to talk about here. There was one game that I'm actually got me excited. It was the only game at the showcase because they showed snippets of gameplay and it actually looked good. What was it called? Speedrunners? No, not Speedrunners. Disney Speed Storm. That's it. This kart racing game actually looks really cool. So I would say, honestly, this is the crazy thing. They showed off a game with Captain America, or they announced a game with Captain America and Black Panther. And this is the game that had me the most excited. Just because, like, you could tell what they were going for aesthetically, the gameplay wise, the kart racer, obviously, but like the speed, the types of tracks that they were going to have. That it looks like, yeah, it's going to have like Mickey Mouse and stuff in it, but it looks like it's going to be a pretty like intense kart racer. Just with the slight gameplay that they did show off here, which I think it's near the end. Yeah, right here. They showed off at the end here. Like, I don't know. This looks awesome to me. This kart race looks like a ton of fun. And they showed gameplay. So those were some of the big announcements at the Marvel and Disney showcase. Obviously, the Black Panther Captain America is going to be the biggest for most people. But I just feel like we're not going to see that in forever. They don't even have a name for it. And this is backfired so many times on these studios when they show off stuff so early and they just keep doing it. But what do you guys, did you guys like anything that at the showcase? Isn't EA making a Black Panther open world game? I think that's a rumor. I think Jeff Grubb was talking about that. So I think that is still happening. But who knows? I agree. After 20 minutes, I tried it. I turned it off about the Disney. Yeah, it wasn't good. Yeah, it wasn't great. Everyone are wanting their own kart racer now. Xbox should make a kart racer, honestly, with the amount of IPs and characters they have. That'd be super, super cool. Live Phoenix, I'm doing good. How are you doing? Welcome. Welcome to Plumecast. I just having a good time, hanging out, talking games, talking about some of the stuff that's happened throughout the week. I'm still a little kid. I'll do another Mickey Mouse adventure game. I just played through Castle of Illusions, the remaster. I played that when I was a kid on the Sega. Actually, there was that Mickey Mouse game that was pretty cool. That was the other one. The only games that like were worth anything at that showcase right now was the games that they had gameplay of. Like this game, actually, you know what? I'm down for this one too. I am down for this one too. This game actually looked pretty cool. The gameplay and stuff. Like, I think this one will be pretty fun. Yeah, the graphics look pretty awesome. For like the style. I love that like hand-drawn art style. But like, yeah. Other than that, everything else was just pretty lame. Love to see an Xbox make a kart racer game with all the IPs. It would be insane. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that would be awesome. They could easily do it too, and like a brawler game or something. A game in the world of Who Framed Roger Rabbit would be sick. I never thought about that, but yeah, be cool. All right. I'm a little bummed we didn't see X-Men content. Me too. Me too. Honestly, X-Men content is something that we just don't get anything of anymore. I get that up there. Like, it would be great to get an X-Men game. And like, I was thinking about this the other day. I think I was on maybe 2 weeks ago on the podcast, the Xbox International podcast. And I was like, does anybody like Gambit anymore? Because I used to love Gambit as a kid. And it would be amazing to get a Gambit game. I know that'll never happen because he's probably not popular whatsoever, but like it would be so cool to get Gambit. Plume, are you going to be watching the Xbox Japanese showcase next week? And do you think that Deathloop will finally come to Xbox? Yes, I will be watching the Xbox Japanese showcase for sure. And I do think Deathloop will come to Xbox. It has to. If it like, I honestly, I was surprised when they didn't announce it at the first Game Pass announcement because September 14th was in that announcement. So that part's kind of concerning, but eventually it will be coming over. Who knows when? To me, though, the question isn't will it be coming to Xbox? The question is, if you're somebody who's just has an Xbox, just plays Xbox, and you're seeing this right now, and you're seeing that Deathloop's going into PlayStation Plus, and you know that the game exclusivity, console exclusivity ends on September 14th, and it's a game owned by Xbox. There's two conclusions I've come to. Maybe they're not moving right now on it because they want to make sure Activision Blizzard goes through, and they don't want to be seen as monopolistic, which people are asking questions about, these authorities. But at the end of the day, as an Xbox gamer, it's like, come on, like, get this game onto Xbox. We don't care what you have to do. If you have to pay a couple $1 million to break some sort of deal, get it onto Xbox. It's ridiculous at this point that if it doesn't come within the next couple of weeks, in my opinion. I think that like it's Xbox just being too nice, but it could be because they're just trying to make sure Activision Blizzard deal goes through. And once that goes through, maybe Mr. Nice Guy for some stuff is going to go away. That's the only other thing I would say that is like kind of like it makes a bit of sense. But if that's not the case and they're just like, oh, whatever, we'll put it onto PlayStation Plus. Phil Spencer's just like, oh, we want to keep these deals just because it's going to help us in the long run. It's like at the end of the day, you got to put the game on Xbox, on Game Pass, for the Xbox gamers, for the fans that support the console. Just get it done. Okay, everyone's. It seems like people are talking about Ubisoft. So let's get into the Ubisoft Forward. Let's definitely talk about Ubisoft Forward. This is one I really want to go over because it was a decent show. It wasn't the best show in the world. It had some of my pet peeves as what I had, similar pet peeves as what I had with the Marvel and Disney showcase, but it was good. Okay. So this is going to be a longer list here of stuff because there was a lot of stuff shown off here, but let's start with the highlight for me as someone who absolutely loves Assassin's Creed, loves Valhalla, Odyssey, Origins, which are the 3 big open world RPGs. Love the older ones. I haven't played all of the older ones, but there's still some that I need to finish, but like love the ones that I have played. I'm really happy to see the Assassin's Creed stuff here. Again, no gameplay, which was a little bit frustrating, especially for Assassin's Creed Mirage. But they announced, I think it was 4 games. So the next big, and I love what they did here. This is one thing I do love what they did is they divvied up the games into like, here's classic, more linear Assassin's Creed. Here's open world RPG Assassin's Creed. We're going to do both at net now. Like we're going to put more resources and we're going to do both rather than just like getting rid of the open world RPG one, because I don't see why they would. I think there's a lot of people that complained about them, but I think the majority of people actually enjoyed those games. I loved Valhalla. I put so many hours into that. But anyway, so they announced Assassin's Creed Codename. Okay, well, we'll start here because this is the first one that's showing up. Yeah, Codename Red, which is going to be set in feudal Japan, which was a rumor that I'm so happy came true. Like, this is an incredible setting. You follow the life of a shinobi in feudal Japan. So, yeah, I can't wait for this. I just literally can't wait for this. See what they're going to do. How big is this world going to be? How is the combat going to come out? Is it going to be faster? Is it going to be more stealthy based? Like, the parkour for this era probably is going to be really, really cool. So there's just so much I'm looking forward to for this one. And this one isn't going to be coming out for a while, but I'm still very, very excited for this. And I'm so happy that they went with the feudal Japan setting. Then they went and they announced Codename Hex, which is, I mean, we don't know anything about it. It was literally, again, just another CGI trailer. I'm not surprised that these two has CGI trailers because they're probably so far out. But Codename Hex, they say it's a very different type of Assassin's Creed game and may feature witchcraft. So a lot of people, I believe when I go down here, we go down here into Twitter. Where is it here? So go down here into the comments, and a lot of people are thinking this is like some sort of witchcraft era. I think like Germany or something. I thought I misread some of these comments. Yeah, like people are saying it's in Germany. It has to do with witchcraft. It has to do with, what are some other ones? There were better comments. I don't know why they are not showing up here. But anyways, this was Hex. It's going to be a completely different style of game. Maybe it's going to be more of like a horror style of Assassin's Creed. It looks extremely creepy. And yeah, like you can't really tell anything from here other than potentially the world that it's going to be in with witchcraft. So maybe you're going to have a bunch of the powers and stuff. Maybe it's going to be like maybe a more linear RPG where you're upgrading like a skill tree for magic and other abilities. Who knows? But they announced this Assassin's Creed Codename Hex, and then you can see what they're going for here, which is codenaming everything, I guess, until they're officially ready to come out or get closer. Maybe they will rename them all. I'd be surprised if they went with Codename Red and Codename Hex for the official names of these games. And then they announced here the one that everybody saw coming. It's been leaked multiple times. And it was Assassin's Creed Mirage, which is set in Baghdad. And it's 20 years before the events of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And it does feature Basim from Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And they showed off a pretty cool trailer. I was disappointed, since this game is coming in 2023, that they didn't have any gameplay in it to kind of... I think this one, people are interested in seeing like how the older style of Assassin's Creed games are going to look now on like these newer consoles and graphically, and since it's going to be like Assassin's Creed already looks really good, but like since they're going to be able to condense this into a smaller game, a smaller map, smaller world, it's probably going to be extremely high quality in terms of how everything looks. So it would have been really cool to see some of the gameplay for it, but obviously they didn't do that. They just did this like 4-minute cinematic trailer, which was cool, but would have loved to see gameplay. But you get a hit of some of the stuff you're going to be able to do here, and some of the enemies and just the world that you're going to be running through. But it definitely looks like classic Assassin's Creed. I mean, it even kind of looks like Altair, they're running up there, and even standing up there. So pretty excited for this one. From the rumors that we're hearing, it's 17 to 20 hours, which is like a perfect length for this style of game, especially if they're continuing to go with the longer open world RPGs. And 2023 sometime. I'm guessing holiday 2023 going to be a huge game. There's already like a collector's edition on sale and all that type of stuff. So maybe it's even closer than we think. But then they went on here and they announced a mobile game, which is codenamed Jade. It's set in China. If you like mobile games, there's that for you. They're continuing with another chapter for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is cool because I'm going to play through that for sure. I believe it's free to play for everybody. It's just going to tie up loose ends to Eivor's story. And I'm happy that they're continuing with that because, I mean, hey, why not? I love that game and I'll play another expansion to it. No problem. Dawn of Ragnarok expansion, if you haven't played it, I absolutely loved it. It was great. The story, all that type of stuff, the different enemies that you fought and the world you were in. It was a very cool addition to Valhalla. And okay, that was the Assassin's Creed stuff. So essentially, what Assassin's Creed is going to do, the biggest thing, as well as they announced here. So this is it. This is Assassin's Creed. If you're an Assassin's Creed fan, this is what you can expect. Coming 2022, 2023, and then beyond. And what they did officially confirm, which I'm very happy to see, that Infinity, all of these rumors that were coming out about it, about being this big MMO RPG, online only, all this type of stuff, all wrong. all Infinity is it's literally a hub for all of these games. Literally just a hub, I guess, that you're going to go into and access all of these games. There are probably going to be additional things to that. I wonder if they talk about it here at all. Well, we can look it up, but like it's essentially just a hub to single player experiences. So Ubisoft has revealed Assassin's Creed Infinity, a new platform and hub for Assassin's Creed games. It also revealed the first 2 games. Okay, so the first 2 games that will be part of it are going to be Codename Red, and then the first 2 games that will be a part of Infinity, one that will be follow the life of Shinobi in feudal Japan, and another helmed by Watchdog Legion's director Clint Hawking. Okay, wait, let's go back to this picture here. So Codename Hex. Yeah, Codename Red and Codename Hex are going to be in Infinity. Those are the first 2 games into it. Explained, Infinity is not a game per se. It's going to be the single entry point for our fans into the Assassin's Creed franchise into the future. Infinity is going to be a hub that will unite all our different experiences and our players together in meaningful ways. So who knows what that means? When I think about a hub, probably it's going to be deeper than Call of Duty. But if you load up any Call of Duty, you get access to like Warzone, the current game, the previous game, and like the next game. You can like buy all that stuff. I know it's the same as that, because I'm assuming Infinity is something you just download and then like you go into, maybe it's going to be sort of like a metaverse style thing. Maybe you're going to have an avatar and you just go around, you can communicate and hang out with people, but then just jump into a game after. So it could be something like that. The hub will be a place where different games will exist, and that appears to start with Assassin's Creed Codename Red, described by Kote as being the next premium flagship title in the future of open world RPG games. We already know the Codename Red, and then they announced Hex. So Infinity, you don't need to worry about it being something that's going to ruin the games that they're currently out there. It's just going to be a hub where you access these games, which I think is great. I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy it's not something that they're going completely off course with and trying to add this brand new experience that people just won't want. Making something like an MMORPG or something like that. That was my biggest fear, but I'm happy that got confirmed not to be the case. So those were the Assassin's Creed stuff. I'm honestly like very excited for Mirage and Codename Red. Those 2 I'm like, the most excited for. The other ones, like I'll have to see more on, like what is Hex all about, Codename J Mobile. But then there was this thing here as well they announced, which gets me into, well, I guess they don't talk about it here, do they? They must talk about it somewhere here. Netflix. So as we know, Netflix has a gaming service now. And Ubisoft announced that they're going to be bringing a sequel to Valiant Hearts, which is actually a very cool game, and a roguelite inspired Mighty Quest for Epic Loot, and then an original Assassin's Creed game over to the Netflix subscription, which is their gaming subscription, where you sign up for Netflix, you get access to a bunch of mobile games that you get for free, no ads, no in-app purchases. And this was a huge theme, I would say, for Ubisoft Forward and for Disney and Marvel, was mobile. And it really shows where all of these big IPs that we all think about console, we think about PC, they're all being adapted to mobile. And it's where a ton of money is, and all these companies are really focusing on mobile. And it really makes you see why King and more mobile revenue in the Activision Blizzard deal for Xbox was so big for Xbox, because they are, again, having forethought as to where the industry is moving to. And a lot of these companies are moving to really, really focusing on the mobile platform, because they don't even have to think about getting a device into somebody's hand. It's already there. And again, it's another reason why like console exclusivity is just a thing of the past. It's a dead strategy, especially when you see a lot of the showcases really focusing on this stuff. So that was games coming to mobile, and there's going to be an Assassin's Creed one. But they also announced this mobile game, which is the Division Resurgence. They're accepting signups for it. And I think they also announced, Rainbow Six mobile gameplay revealed. So those are three or four. Well, there's 3 huge IPs, Assassin's Creed, Rainbow Six, and The Division going to mobile. And then there's the Netflix partnership that they created. So that's massive in terms of the mobile thing. And you're going to see this a lot. You're going to see this from PlayStation. You're going to see this from Xbox. They're going to start adapting big IPs onto the mobile platform. I wouldn't be surprised if like one day you saw like Halo on mobile. They've already gone free to play. So like I wouldn't be surprised if they made like a mobile version of Halo Infinite or something. The way 343 is able to get stuff done these days, it may not be for another 10 years, but you never know. Then they showed off also Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. I never played the first one, but I heard this game is really good. It's I believe a Nintendo Switch exclusive. So if you don't have a Switch, you're not playing it, but I heard it's a very, very good strategy game. So kind of interested in checking that out. They showed off Skull and Bones coming out November 8th. Wonder how this one is going to do. My interest in Skull and Bones isn't that high, to be completely honest. I don't know if I want to jump into like a multiplayer pirate ship battle game. I'll probably check it out though. But yeah, November 8th. They talked a little bit more about it. Just kind of like this, like the things you can do, like upgrading your ship and the hub and all that type of stuff that you get to go around in. Yeah, this game November 8th. I'm interested in how this one is going to do, because they announced it a long time ago. It does have cross-platform, and it could turn into one of those like classic, cult classic style of games where they have just a very strong community playing it. Trackmania, cool. And I've really never gotten into that. Just Dance, don't really care. Again, Rainbow Six mobile gameplay. And honestly, for a mobile device, the stuff that they showed off here, it's insane. It's insane how like the graphics that we're getting now on mobile phones. Like, who would have thought, like back in the day, you're playing Game Boy and Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, to think that today we're getting games like this in the palm of our hands. Like, just nuts. The Division Heartland. Again, I don't know. This one, like, I don't know. This one, when I saw it, my initial reaction was like, this just looks like literally the Division with, I guess, a new game mode. Why didn't they just add this into the Division 2? I don't know. This one, it's free to play, but like, why didn't they just like, I guess they didn't want people to have to buy the Division 2, but the Division 2, I don't even know. I don't know. This one just, I'm not sold on Heartland. It's like a PvP, I guess, or PV. What is it? A PvP or PvE? Free to play set in the world of Ubisoft Massive's Tom Clancy series is still on track for 28th. Cloud. Anyways, it's like, it's a multiplayer game. It just, to me, it's like, why don't I just throw us into the Division 2? Because it just looks, looking at this, it looks like I'm literally just playing the Division, which I mean, it is in the world, but I don't know. Was not sold on that one. Division 2 Season 10, which is cool. And they're going to continue supporting the Division 2, which is a looter shooter that I actually put a decent amount of time into, which I probably will jump into. Then another mobile spinoff with the Division Resurgence. Again, mobile is crazy. This is the PvP. Yeah, this is the PvP one. Riders Republic is getting BMX biking. If you haven't played Riders Republic, again, this game reminds me, I don't know how big the community is, but it reminds me of Immortals Phoenix Rising in a way that I say it's one of Ubisoft's better games, and it just doesn't get any attention. I don't see a lot of people talking about it, but damn, this game is fun. And I was actually very, very excited when they showed off that BMX is coming. And I hope they bring more extreme sports. So there's snowboarding, there's skiing, there's mountain biking, there's like bike racing, there's snowmobiling, there's wingsuits. There's like so many different extreme sports in this game. And it's really cool that they're bringing like this BMX and also like an actual like skate park. So I'm really excited to jump into that. I love extreme sports games like Tony Hawk and Skate and this and Shredders was really good. Like, I love these styles of games. So this is cool. December 14th. I'm going to be jumping in. I do have the season pass or whatever you need to get it. Crew 2. Never really played it, but I guess you're going to be getting some stuff on September 14th. They announced Mythic Quest Season 3. Never watched it. Brawlhalla is crossing over with Castlevania. This is actually cool. I've never played Brawlhalla, but I've been having a ton of fun with multiverses. I may try this game out because like Castlevania is awesome. And this game looks awesome with the graphics. I like this graphic style. Didn't know too much about this game, honestly, before I saw this. So pretty excited for that. To see, is Brawlhalla free to play? I'm not sure. Play Brawlhalla for free now. Yeah, it's right there. It's literally right in the tweet. But it looks cool. You're getting Alucard. And then the Netflix stuff. And then Ubisoft Plus right now, if you want to play for free, you get to play for free until October 10th. So all in all, I thought this show was decent. Not the best show ever. It was a decent show. Assassin's Creed, the stuff that they announced has me really, really excited for the future of the franchise and multiple games that we are going to be getting, starting with Mirage in 2023. Happy they are taking a bit more time to release the next game. I think that's a very, very smart move with how big Valhalla was. And I hope that they show us some gameplay of all of these games soon, of Codename Red and of Mirage. But yeah, lots to look forward to from Ubisoft and from Assassin's Creed. I liked how they broke the show up too into like the Assassin's Creed showcase and then everything else, because Assassin's Creed is probably like their biggest IP right now. Then yeah, that and like probably Rainbow Six. But what did you guys think about this show? I know I just rambled on there for a while talking about the stuff. Plume, I missed the show. Plume, I missed the Ubisoft show. Did they announce Ubi Plus on Game Pass? No, they did not. They did not. There was no Game Pass announcement that I recall. So we all got kind of trolled. I thought they had Xbox Game Pass there on the promo. Maybe they switched it off at the last second. Reaction when Ubisoft announces 2 AC games in a week. Witchcraft. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Seems like a creepy horror type game. That's what I think Hex is going to be. It's really interesting how they're going off in all of these different directions with the Assassin's Creed IP. And I know some people may think it's like gets old and there's too many. They're doubling down nonstop on Assassin's Creed, which, yeah, I mean, they are. But every time, I don't know what it is about the franchise. Every time a new Assassin's Creed game gets announced, I just get excited. I just love Assassin's Creed games. And I honestly, the last 3 have been really, really fun for me. So I'm okay with that. And I think it's cool. I think it's good that they're going in and trying different styles of games with the IP. So you're getting everything. You're literally getting everything from it. Yeah, lack of gameplay. The show would have been good if it showed it. Yeah, I mean, all of these showcases that don't have gameplay, it's hard to get too excited. Speaking of Ubisoft, when is Ubisoft Plus coming to Xbox? It is coming. They officially, like, they made that announcement, not at the show, but it is coming to Xbox, but I'm not sure when. It's not going to be a part of Game Pass, so I think it's going to be like a separate subscription. What if Sony tries to block the deal? Microsoft just buys Call of Duty from Activision. How are they going to block that? Yeah, who knows? But I don't think that's ever gonna. I don't think that's gonna happen. Oh, Josh, man, that's fine, man. Sorry to hear that. I hope you heal up soon. This does not sound fun at all. All right. I like Riders Republic. I don't think it got the audience it deserves. I agree. I don't think it does. And maybe it's doing better than we think. Who knows? They're bringing more content to it. That's always a good sign. For Ubisoft games like even the Division 2, I feel like that game started off not too hot in terms of the amount of people that were playing it. Yet they just continue to push forward and continue to support it. Now, I don't know if they're doing that because it grows, or it's just because they just kind of are. That's what they've allocated resources for, and they're just going to go through with it. But it seems like all of these Ubisoft games that come out, and you may think that they don't have great audiences or not enough people play it, especially like the more live service ones. They continue to support, so they must be doing something right, and enough people are playing it. So I hope Riders Republic does last, because it is honestly an extremely fun game. Just to sit back and do all the random extreme sports that you're doing. Any theories on mystery Xbox game at TGS? Huh. Could it be Tango's next game? Could be Tango Gameworks' next game. We know that, so Tango has said that they don't want to just do The Evil Within or just like third-person horror games. So they could be working, they could have been working on something just absolutely different, and they may show it off at TGS. I mean, it is a Japanese developer. That'd probably be a perfect place to show it off. Maybe we'll get more information too on Kojima's game. That's not really a mystery because he officially announced that at the Xbox and Bethesda showcase. But you never know. Yeah, honestly, I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with Tango's next game. That's my theory. That would make a ton of sense. All right, Josh, thanks for stopping by. Have a good night, man. Appreciate you jumping into the chat. Okay, so let's jump over here. Something a little different. Let's talk about this. There's a big rumor coming out. Now, take all of these with a grain of salt, because I don't know if you guys have been following the Nintendo Switch rumors, like the Nintendo Switch Pro. The rumors for the Switch have just they always keep popping up, and they're always wrong. They're always wrong. It never happens. But this one, honestly, like, I would not be surprised if this happened. The Nintendo Switch came out in 2017. We're going on 6 years of this console that is far behind in terms of power to what's currently out there. And I'm sure developers are on Nintendo's ass telling them, hey, we need something better. We want to make great games for your platform. We know you have 100 plus whatever. Like, so many people have bought the Nintendo Switch, but we need something better so we can like continue to develop for your platform. And hey, maybe we'll even make 2 versions of it, which we've seen not really pan out well for a lot of games when you make it for the older generation. But I feel like that's definitely happening. So this is a rumor for the Nintendo Switch 2. And this is from Astel on Twitter, and he says, rumor, according to Japanese sources, the Switch 2 will have 4 teraflops with DLSS and ray tracing. I mean, that alone right there, like when they say that, it's like, and ray tracing, it's like, even look at the consoles right now. How many games are we getting with like good performance with ray tracing, right? It's still like something that's so taxing on these consoles. Series X, PS5, 4 teraflops, which is the same power as the Series S with ray tracing. It'll be very minimal games that actually get ray tracing in it. They say it'll be announced at the Tokyo Game Show and released in March 2023 with the next Zelda. So this is exactly what they did in terms of the release with the original Switch. They released it with Zelda Breath of the Wild in March of 2017, I believe. Just want to double check that just to make sure that I'm not lying to you guys, but I believe so. I picked that up day one because I'm a big Zelda fan. Yeah, March 3rd, 2017 was the original release date of the Nintendo Switch. And we know Breath of the Wild 2 has been delayed. We know they're working on it. And they may just go with that same strategy, which I think it isn't a terrible strategy because it's a huge game. It's going to just like get the Switch 2 to fly off the shelves. And what they did with Breath of the Wild is they also released it on the Wii U. So they would just do a similar release. Like, okay, here's the Nintendo Switch version. Here's the Switch 2 version. So this person says, is the post 100% leaker. The new Switch will be announced in September with Drake 4 teraflops, 12 gigabytes, 4K DLSS, 60 frames per second, and the execution performance is comparable to the Xbox Series S. According to the leaker, that it was reported until the day of the announcement of the Splatoon 3 Pokemon version Switch. It is already in production. Continues on here. According to Nate, it will be announced on Nin Day next Monday, so it will be announced at TGS. The new Switch supports DLSS and ray tracing, and it is equipped with an SoC GPU called Drake. The Chinese leaker that guessed the announcement date of Splatoon 3 body hit the mark again. You're finally here. The new Switch is right in front of you. If you're going to put it out next year, it's about this much. It's okay. The category, whatever. Well, it will be the same as Zelda in March next year. It's right, the Nintendo Switch is much more technical, it seems to be, compared to Valve. Some random stuff. Random comments in there. As much as I would love that to be true, my ass. That's honestly kind of what I feel about this. Too good to be true. Even Valve can't do 4 teraflops. Why couldn't Nintendo agree to do? Valve basically invented doing the bear. Oh my god. Zelda in March was already... Honestly, that's the thing that throws me off. You look at the Switch now and how much it's still selling. Like if you go like Nintendo... Let's just go to VG charts. Like they're always up top in terms of console hardware sales. 112. Like holy shit. 112 million Nintendo Switches have been sold. And then if you go by like the monthly charts, like look at this hardware chart for August 27th. Look how many Nintendo Switches still sold. 345,000 still sold. Like they're still outselling everything out there. The Switch is going to continue to try to like milk that as much as possible. And they always put out consoles that are not like, they're always underpowered. So for them to put out a 4 teraflops Nintendo Switch 2 right now with the chip shortage and with everything, their sales haven't fallen off. It's hard to believe that this is a true rumor. And again, it is the Switch. They've gone crazy rumors. But if they did this, I mean, it's a pretty enticing console, even though it is on par with the Series S. I mean, the Series S, I love the Series S. If you can get that, they're saying here, a lot of people are saying this is going to be docked. Obviously, you're only going to be able to get it docked. So I wonder how much worse it would be when it's in your hand. But Series S is a great console. So to get something on par from Nintendo with the Series S, I'm honestly all for it. I don't expect them to make like a 15 teraflop console or something crazy, right? I don't expect them to make something more powerful than the Series X. I expect them to come out with what they've always been doing recently, is putting out a weaker console, putting out just like appealing to the masses, appealing to every type of consumer, appealing to kids, appealing to families, appealing to everyone out there, putting it at a price point that is very affordable. And then, yeah, here we are, 112 million consoles units, and they got the Switch Lite. I mean, I think how much is the Nintendo Switch right now? Like the original one. I think, how much is the Nintendo Switch right now? Do they even have the prices on their website? $449 for the OLED. Okay, so it's still $379. That's crazy. The Switch is still $379, and then the Switch Lite is $259. That's in Canadian dollars, of course. But yeah, they just bought the OLED. The OLED was a waste, in my opinion. I actually bought one and then returned it because the screen's great, but like it literally does everything I do on the Nintendo Switch, and I play mostly on my TV. We've seen stuff about the Switch Pro rumors come out nonstop. They've been false. them putting out a 4 teraflop Switch with DLSS and ray tracing is not very believable. I don't see that happening, but I do see something happening with Zelda in March 2023. Whether that is an exclusive like collector's edition Nintendo Switch, or if they do go with this method, this release method, like it's going to be the exact same as what they did with the first Switch, where they released it on the Wii U, then they released it on the Nintendo Switch. And the thing is, Breath of the Wild on the Wii U was a great game. Like there wasn't really anything wrong with it, from what I recall, compared to the Nintendo Switch version. They would do something similar like that. So wait and see, but I don't know. Tokyo Game Show is just around the corner, isn't it? Next week? TGS 2022. Yeah, so Thursday, September 15th. Sunday, September 18th. We don't need to wait long. Got to wait maybe five days or so to see if this rumor does come true. All right. Facts, boom. This makes no sense unless it's going to be a $700 console. Well, the thing, it's like the specs within these rumors obviously are not worth $700, but when you're making it into a mobile console as well, with the screen on there, the attachable controllers, it increases the price of it right away. So yeah, it would be a pretty expensive console. Could be pushing 500, 550. Who knows if they were to release it with those specs. I just don't see it happening. I just really don't see it happening. Zelda hasn't gotten a release date yet, so they're leaking the Zelda date as well. That's so true. Yeah, they would be releasing the Zelda date too. But yeah, it'd be super cool even if they just announced Breath of the Wild 2 at TGS. NVIDIA DLSS is a hardware exclusive tech, and the AI of the DLSS will not work on the Switch device. I mean, maybe they got a very good deal with NVIDIA. With the amount of units that they push, NVIDIA's like, well, okay, if you guys can push the same amount of units with the Switch 2, we'll get something worked out for you. Ray tracing has been a letdown so far. Honestly, like, yeah, I would agree with that. Like, we were promised, like, all games, ray tracing, 60 frames per second, no problem. And that hasn't happened. Of course not. I mean, it never does. Like, when they promise you all of these graphical things right from the beginning of a console generation, it doesn't happen. But yeah, it makes the game look really, like, look better. But, like, at the end of the day, I just want that 60 FPS. I will sacrifice ray tracing, make sure the games get that performance mode, and make sure that the frame rate is solid. Like, yeah, at the end of the day, that's it. I mean, but yeah, it'd be nice to have more games with, like, we got, like, Xbox, they got to get that AI working on the RDNA 2, which will hopefully help with getting ray tracing and keeping frame rates higher in a performance mode. Hope that this true. Switch needs a spec boost. Yeah, it does. It definitely does. I still have an original Switch, the first one that came out, the launch day one, which, I mean, all the specs are the same across them, but yeah, it needs a huge boost. But there are some great games on the Nintendo Switch. I still think it's an awesome console. But Steam Deck, oh my god, that thing has destroyed the Nintendo Switch for me. The Steam Deck is so good, and I don't see in any way Nintendo competing with the Steam Deck in terms of performance and specs and all that type of stuff. Because you look at the price of the Steam Deck, why would Nintendo want to come out and sell a console that's like that's more expensive than the Steam Deck? I just don't see them doing it. So that rumor to me, I don't know. We'll see. I know Nintendo have postponed something because the Queen. Well, wasn't it the rumor that they were postponing Nintendo Direct? So Jeff Grubb was like talking about this. He's saying it was postponed, and then he was saying it wasn't postponed. I think something like that. What the heck? Is there no Jeff Grubb? Oh, I put Gubb. That's like, what? Yeah, he was saying it was postponed, and then he was saying it wasn't postponed. Also, yeah, this is another game that is being rumored that there is also potentially an Iron Man game. Oh, I'm not on the thing here. I'll switch it to you guys here. Potentially there's an Iron Man game in development. Which is like, so Disney and Marvel, they're doing these games with characters that are in other games, and they're going to do their own like spin-off games. Where was it here? Where is... I want to just find that tweet from... There we go. So... okay, it does sound like the Direct is still on. If it gets moved around, it will probably be a very minor adjustment expected early next week. So apparently there's a Nintendo Direct next week. And maybe they'll announce it there. But yeah, that's like the rumor. I guess when they say TGS, it's going to be at the Nintendo Direct during the same time as TGS. Which would be like, if Nintendo does announce a Switch 2, it's going to be a huge player in right now what's going on in gaming, because the Switch is still outselling everything. They announced the Switch 2. The original, even if they announced the Switch 2 and they release it in March 2023, the original Switch is still going to be on the market for a while, and it's still going to outsell everything. People are still going to go out and buy a Nintendo Switch. They'll probably just reduce the price. Then you're going to have that other option of a console that they're going to market as like something that can compete with the current consoles on the market. So it's going to be a big player. It's going to be a big player. It'll be interesting to see how Nintendo adjusts with like the shifting market, because PlayStation right now has to adjust with console exclusivity. They have to. Nintendo is like such a weird case, right? It's such a weird case that like, because they're so dominant with their console, they're so dominant in Japan that they can wait even longer. But I think eventually, especially if PlayStation adopts an Xbox Game Pass ecosystem model in Japan, they're eventually going to have to go along that route as well. But right now, they're the one company that's like, they're just continuously sitting back while everyone else is like jostling for position, purchasing all of these different studios, trying to bolster their ecosystem, trying to bolster their subscription service. They're sitting back and still just doing incredible with selling Switch after Switch after Switch. Not that the other consoles aren't selling, but I feel like the Switch is in like a league of its own right now with the success of that console. Well, happy birthday, Nikita. Happy early birthday. Sony was advertising 8K 60 ray tracing. They also had leakers saying that it was going to be RDNA 3 technology. And it was over for everybody else with the RDNA 3 technology. Thanks to 343, I have played Mario Party 7 on my SX with my friends. Nintendo party games are great on Xbox. I don't know how you did that, but sounds pretty cool. It's like Forge mode or something. You got early access to Forge mode. Or emulation. Or developer mode. I don't think Nintendo needs to do anything, to be honest, which is crazy. Sony obviously has to change, and it's clear they're trying now releasing on PC and buying mobile devs. Yeah, that is weird. Like the arguments of console exclusivity, I think it holds very, very true that it is a strategy that is going away, but specifically for everybody except Nintendo right now. Like Nintendo, I don't know how. It's like I feel like Nintendo appeals just to a different market. They appeal to gamers, of course, but it's like they appeal to literally everyone. They've gotten in there. They've appealed to gamers, but like they've appealed to people who may have never played a video game in their life. They've appealed to people who play literally one game. That's it. And they buy it. They play like, I don't know, Mario Kart. And I don't know. It's just weird how Nintendo does it. They just have such a broader base of consumers. And you can sort of say the same thing with I mean, all these consoles now, console or gaming has become more mainstream, that you could say that, I guess, for pretty much everything. I just think like the perception of Nintendo is like my grandma can play it. No problem. Perception of Xbox and PlayStation is like, okay, this is like a more serious device for like more hardcore gamers. From like a marketing perspective. Which, I mean, you think about the Nintendo Wii. Think about the Nintendo Wii. How many of you out there bought the Nintendo Wii, played Wii Sports, and never touched that thing again? That's Nintendo. That's the best way to explain Nintendo. The Nintendo Wii. People will go out and spend $300 on a console to play a pack-in game, and then never ever touch that console again. Yeah, Nintendo targeting kids and elderly is actually true. They do. I mean, and it works crazy for them. Like, think about also families right now. The amount of people that have like 2 or 3 Nintendo Switches in their home, 2 Nintendo Switch lights for their kids, and then like the main Nintendo Switch on the TV or something. I'm sure that plays a big role in it too. Okay, that's it for me, guys. About an hour and a half here. Thanks again for stopping by. I'm happy I got to get Plumecast, do it again for a second week in a row. Gonna continue to try to make Plumecast every Saturday night. And yeah, we'll continue to hang out, continue to have good discussions. We're getting into the most crazy best time of the year in terms of gaming, in terms of news, in terms of all that type of stuff. Fall, September to December is always great. So there will definitely be a lot to talk about. If you're new here, make sure to check out the channel, like, subscribe, all that type of stuff. My channel's been doing awesome. You guys are really helping me get to that goal of 10K by the end of the year. Be super cool if we can get there. So appreciate all of your support. Appreciate the community. Hopefully we continue to grow this and just have great conversations about games. And I will catch you